what it really means to live life golden.
Sweetheart, are we offending you?
Yeah, we're golden, baby girl, we're golden. They're about to see us shine, cause we're golden. They can't ever break us down, cause we're golden. They're about to see us glow, cause we're golden. Yeah, we're golden, baby girl, we're golden.
All right, welcome back to the Leisure House podcast. I got my boy Ben Higdon, aka Lenny, from Paducah, Kentucky. How you doing, big dog?
Good, man.
Good to have you on here, man.
Yes, sir. Glad to be on.
Awesome. So we got Ben from John A. Logan Junior College, and he also went to Memphis. Is it University of Memphis?
Yeah.
University of Memphis.
Yeah.
So Ben's got some D1 experience, and he's also got some junior college experience. So I want you to talk to us a little bit about your experience at Memphis and then at John A. Logan.
Yeah, absolutely. So couldn't be more grateful for both of those experiences. But to start with Memphis, like out of high school, wasn't like super heavily recruited young, but ended up having a really good like back half of my career as far as summer ball and all that goes, and got the opportunity to go to Memphis. So I took that and kind of ran with it. I actually pitched there, believe it or not.
Oh yeah, you told me about that.
Just bang now, but yeah. Was so bad they told me to quit. No, but I pitched at Memphis.
So why'd you stop?
Man, I stopped last year. I had a little bit of arm trouble, and my JUCO coach was like, at this point, man, it's not really worth it, you know?
Yeah.
So kind of banged it there, but...
Were you just a guy that threw gas and then just like...
Yeah, I was definitely a thrower instead of a pitcher, if that makes sense.
Oh, yeah.
Like we talked about those quality pitches today. Not a lot of quality pitches.
Not a lot of quality
It was just
pitches.
like, I'm going to get in there and throw it, like, just threw it. So.
Yeah, and you got a good arm too. I seen it in the.
Yeah, it does a trick. It does a trick.
Did you have a hammer?
Yeah, and a good curveball too.
Oh man, that's good stuff.
Yeah.
So when you stopped pitching, was that just like a big takeoff with your hitting, or like was there a big difference when you were pitching and hitting, or just hitting?
It was. It absolutely was. So I guess like you, at one point in my career, I was switch hitting and pitching and trying to play a position. So after I quit switch hitting after my Christmas break of freshman year at Memphis, and then shortly after at JUCO, banged the pitching, and like the offense was just like, it kind of took off.
Yeah.
You know, it's just kind of a weight off your shoulder when you can focus on being a really good hitter instead of having to worry about, I'm going to hit right-handed today or left-handed today. And like, I'm sure you get it, dude.
Oh,
you gotta
absolutely,
divvy up the cuts, no doubt. But yeah. It took a lot of weight off the shoulders just to be able to focus on hitting.
Yeah, I mean, when I was doing switch hitting and pitching at Chicago, and just like when coaches hold you accountable to want to hit righty and lefty, they're like, all right, you got to get your righty swings in. So you're doing double reps that everyone else is doing.
Oh yeah, dude. And then you throw in the pitching and
then,
all that.
Yeah, you go through a whole infield workout or outfield,
and
they're like, yeah, you got a bullpen after. And it's like, bro, are you kidding me?
Yeah, my arm's gonna fall off.
It's just like a huge weight that like you can do it, but it's like it feels so much better just to have one thing to focus on.
Yeah, it's so hard. So I mean, those guys that can do it, like, dude, Ohtani.
Oh
you kidding
my goodness,
me?
Yeah.
That's just unbelievable for him.
And he's
dominate.
just elite at both of them.
Yeah, maybe the best pitcher in the game and the best hitter in the game.
Yeah,
elite,
probably.
no doubt.
So when you were in high school, did you know you wanted to go to Memphis, or was it kind of like, I have this option and I'm going to take it and run with it?
Yeah, it was kind of a long process. Like I had said, like early as a freshman and sophomore, like I was still good, but the power never really came like I wasn't super toolsy, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like I kind of came into my build and my like what kind of player I wanted to be there towards my junior and senior year. So the offers were like small at first, like junior colleges and stuff. Mm-hmm. And then as it got to like junior and senior year, like a couple D1s reached out. Memphis was the biggest one. It was like a couple of in-state schools, obviously, and then Memphis. So I considered a lot of those other schools for sure, but at the end of the day, like the coach at Memphis ended up writing like a handwritten letter at Christmas break, and I was like, it's kind of the guy I want to play for.
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely.
Like something that felt like I really was wanted there.
Yeah.
So
absolutely. You got to go to a place that you're wanted and appreciated, and that's where you'll do best at. So.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So then when you went to Memphis, and then was that the year after COVID, 21?
That was 20. Yeah. Our season was 22, so my senior year, I got to play my senior year.
And you graduated 21?
Graduated in 21.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 22 was your first year at Memphis. So how did that go? How did that look?
Man, I loved it. The guys there were like super awesome. Met some older guys that kind of like pushed me along, and the coaching staff did a really good job there too. But that experience, in my opinion, is almost invaluable to just be able to step onto campus and like learn how all that works.
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
to go and travel and live a Division I lifestyle is just really cool. Even though I didn't play much, I just played barely enough to get the red shirt burned, but it was a great year. It was invaluable, I think.
So when did you decide that you didn't want to go back to Memphis?
So we had a coaching change at Memphis, and I was pretty tight with our head coach at the time, and he was a great dude, obviously, and he ended up taking another job. He's a pitching coach at Auburn now. And the new guy had come in, and you can't blame the guy, but he just kind of wanted to get his guys in there.
Yeah.
And was going to, like, cut some people's scholarships. Like, he was going to take everybody's scholarship money, essentially, at least a chunk of it.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know, if that's that was the first call he ever gave. Yeah. And I was just like, you know, I get it, man. Like, get your guys in there, whatever. If I'm not wanted, I'll go bet on myself and go make sure I'm on the field.
Yeah. So. Absolutely. Dude, the betting on yourself is like a huge thing.
Oh, no doubt.
Like, I feel like a lot of guys could, like, this past year when I was at SC, our new coach came in and he cut a bunch of guys. And some guys stopped playing baseball. Yeah. Some guys bet on themselves and went somewhere else. But it's just like, it's not easy to do that. And to be able to come here after, like, choosing to go to junior college and, like, having the year that you did, and we'll talk about that in a second. Right. And then being able to come here, that shows a lot about your character and the kind of person you are. And somebody that's able to do that, that's really cool.
I appreciate it. And to your point, what you were saying, man, like that betting on yourself's not easy. Yeah. You had it. You experienced it too. Oh, yeah. Same thing as you. So, I mean, dude, like you could sit there and be comfortable and, you know, like where's that going to get you? Yeah. If you step out of the comfort zone and really bet on yourself, more often than not, if you work hard and do the right things the right way, it'll end up working out for you. Yeah. So
if you really believe that what you're doing is right and where you're headed is where you want to go, you're gonna get there.
Yeah, no doubt. As long as you're putting in the work and
put in the work. Yeah. It's not like you can just like, all right, I'm just gonna go to here at so and just be this person like without putting in the work and just like falls in your lap. Yeah. Like you got to put in the work.
Yeah, no
every
doubt.
Single day.
No doubt about it. Yeah. Like Minge, obviously Coach Minge is big on that.
Yeah.
Like that was the first day when we pulled up and did those goals. Yeah. And he was like, I said something. He was like, yeah, but how are you gonna get there? Yeah. I was like, okay, touche. Like this is probably somewhere I need to be. It's
it throws you off guard because you're like, yeah, this is what I want to do, and then it's like, how are you gonna get there? And you're like,
Yeah, that's a great question.
It's a great question.
I don't know. I'll figure that out.
I'll figure that out. Yeah. So let's talk about Memphis and when you were playing there, and you said you didn't get a lot of playing time. How did you handle that? So like somebody that maybe is going through that right now, how did you handle that your freshman year that maybe that somebody else can learn from?
Yeah, no doubt about it. So like every other college baseball player's story, like right after Christmas break, I call our hitting guy and I'm like, his name's Greeny. Still a great friend of mine, like consult him on a lot of things. I'm like, Greeny, what's the word? Like, if I need a red shirt, tell me that. If I don't, like, then let me know. And he's like, oh man, like you're gonna get 70 ABs easy this year. And like as the season rolls on, it's pretty apparent like that's just not gonna happen. Yeah. So it doesn't happen. And another one of my friends that is now, he actually did the same route as me. He left Memphis after his freshman year, JUCO, and now he's at Alabama, Birmingham. His name's Tyler Harrington. Shout out if you're watching this, Ty. But he and I kind of like looked at each other and we were like, dude, we might as well make the most of this. Like, we're not playing, so we might as well just better ourselves while we can and really become ready for the next level, ready to play at that level. Yeah. So we would do like a lot of weighted bat training, like a lot of speed training. Man, it was really good and awesome to have somebody like Ty be there every step of the way with me. Yeah. We pretty much were in that cage 24/7 just hitting off hack. Yeah. Like one round of weighted bat, underload, overload, like swing as hard as you can, then get back to the middle of the field. Like we were just doing it all. And I think it really helped me take that next step and prepare me to be able to play at a Division I level.
Absolutely. So you knew that like you had to do that training to be the player that you wanted.
Yeah, absolutely. Like like I kind of said, like you look at it, and after that, like, oh, you're gonna get 78 Bs, and it became apparent like that just wasn't in the cards for me that year.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, something's got to give.
Yeah.
Like I've got to get better somehow.
Yeah.
So.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think just being able to recognize the stuff that you need to work on, and then like tell yourself like, all right, like we got to do something about this, right?
Yeah.
Instead of just sitting there like, poor me, like I didn't get 78 Bs, and
No
just
doubt.
kind of just sitting there and just like, all right, like I'm not gonna play. I'm just gonna sit on the bench and be a bench warmer. But like being able to attack the stuff that you need to work on is really important as a freshman, sophomore. I think every year.
No doubt.
It doesn't matter. But I think especially in your case, when the new coaches came in, it's tough because it's like one of those like inconvenience situations where you can't. It's out of your control.
Yeah.
And a lot of players can just like I said, like just give up and like whatever.
Right.
All right, whatever. Or maybe even like stay there for no scholarship and like.
Yeah.
That could happen too, and maybe you work your way and you become a
Yeah.
player for him. Like,
Yeah.
it's like the way you look at it. You just got to be confident. All right, if you're gonna stay, then you got to, try to win him over. Like, so he knows what kind of player you are.
Yeah, no doubt.
And that you can play for him.
No doubt. And I'm sure that had I stayed and had a good year, like there would have been no bias towards one of his guys.
Yeah.
Because that's, I mean, people say it happens all the time, but at the end of the day, as a college baseball coach, you put your guys on the field because
Absolutely.
you got to put food on the table.
Yeah.
But yeah, no doubt about that. I mean, there's a lot of points. There's a lot of points in life it's easy to give up and just sit there and take what's given to you. But
Yeah.
you got to be able to
Absolutely.
push yourself for
Yeah.
sure.
So after Memphis, and you knew that you weren't going to go back, what made you? John A. Logan's in Illinois, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I had a buddy, or he was on the team at UIC. His name, I forgot his name. I forgot his name. But he went to John A. Logan, so that's how I know of it. And so what made you want to go to John A. Logan? How did you even come in contact being from Paducah?
Yeah. So it was a good, like John A. Logan recruits a lot of guys from my high school, and they have a solid reputation around the area. So I knew when I figured out that it was going to be JUCO, because there was like part of me that wanted to maybe even go to like a smaller Division I and like see what happened there. And I ended up thinking like, all right, I'm going to go JUCO. I had a couple like that Coach Green that I was talking about earlier, and our pitching guy at Memphis and our volley at Memphis like helped and reached out to some programs as far as JUCO goes. And it was between not Dyersburg, Walter State, Chipola, and John A. So some big time JUCOs. But I called the coach at John A, and as far as like just a stand up guy goes, like he was that.
Yeah.
And you could tell like obviously the track record of winning.
Yeah.
That's all great, but the JUCO horror story was what I was really worried about. Like, oh man, like it's just a terrible place to be.
Yeah.
And I kind of looked at the other guys that I knew that went there and like talked to those guys, and they were like, yeah, man, like Coach Soup is his name, Kyle Soup or not. He's a really good dude. Like just as far as whether you play for him, don't play for him, like he's always there to help you get better, and like just a great sense of family there. So it seemed like a guy that I want to play for.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like making that decision, because that's when you were transferring, the transfer portal was a thing, right?
Yeah.
So like, I mean, all those guys that are out there that don't think junior college is worth it, what would you say to them?
Man, it's as far as a stepping stone from maybe high school or like in my case, not getting to play a whole lot of Division I.
Yeah.
Like the stepping stone is unbelievable.
Yeah.
Because there is real talent there. There is real talent in JUCO, as you know.
Absolutely.
Like real talent. Some of those JUCO teams would compete against Division I level teams.
Yeah.
But it's
No doubt.
it's really good, especially when you can get someone that wants you there. Again, that's I guess what it comes back to. That wants you there, and you can get on the field and get some real experience before you maybe move on to your next spot. It's really, I think it's invaluable.
Yeah. And as you talk about a coach that wants you there, then you go out and have an MVP year. So let's talk about, I mean, I honestly, when you came here, I didn't know anything about like your stats or anything. And the other day I was just kind of like looking at, I'm just looking at Ben Higdon, and I look at your stats, and I was like, dang, like this guy's a top 5 rounder for sure. So like you have a year like that, and the year before you didn't get a lot of playing time.
Right.
So how did you go into your JUCO year and have a year like that? Like what changed?
You know, honestly, I think it was probably about what stayed the same more than changed.
Okay.
You know, like keeping the same mindset as like a hungry dog of a freshman, like not playing at Memphis, but still it doesn't matter what kind of year you're having, like there's always a next level and there's always something that you can better yourself at. So I feel like just as far as staying level-headed that whole year and keeping my nose to the grindstone.
Yeah.
I think that was really good. And credits to coaching staff and teammates there, man. Like there was a whole lot of like nobody talked about it. You know, everybody was just like, oh, it's like it doesn't really matter what you've done all season long. Like the next game is next.
Yep.
Nobody cares.
Yeah.
So that was really awesome that those guys could bring that for sure. And that team was great. A lot of those guys are in really good spots and had great years last year too. So.
And I can vouch for that. When I was at junior college too, I felt like I was a part of a team and a coaching staff that I felt wanted. Yeah. And I was able to have a pretty good year that year. Yeah. Probably one of my best years that I've had.
Good enough to go to SC,
I was I was so opposed to not going to junior college. Like I talked about on my other one about my brother, and I was just like, there's no way. Like I'll never go to junior college. I even took a gap year because that's how bad I didn't want to go to junior college. But when you're part of something, a coaching staff, a team that appreciates you, you're able to just be yourself. Yeah. Like you said, like it's not about what changed, what stayed the same. And like being able to be a part of a group that's able to like, you know, understand like the person you are, you're able to be yourself. Yeah. And that's how you put up the numbers that you did.
Absolutely, dude. I think you hit it right on the head. That group was great. And again, kind of back to like the betting on yourself. Like you've just gotta go for it. Yeah. Like you can't be scared. That's the biggest no is just stay standing still and stay in the same spot because you're scared. Yeah. Like take a leap of faith and do it. You know.
Absolutely.
No doubt about it.
Yeah. So after a year, after a year like that, I think I'm getting drafted, right? Right. So you're going in and you're like, were you committed to Kentucky at this point?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So let's talk about that. So when did you decide that you wanted to go to Kentucky?
So I actually decided about this time last year. So I was a really early commit. I hadn't even had the season yet. So they scooped me up like in the fall about this time last year. So I think that probably helped a lot. Like took a lot of pressure off my shoulders to have a good year and get recruited at JUCO. As you know, that's like a fear, dude. It's like the whole high school process all over again.
Yeah, it really
sometimes.
is.
So that was huge. But
so I mean, like having a year like that, you could have went anywhere in the country. So was there ever a point where you were just like, maybe like I want to go somewhere else, or you knew Kentucky was where you wanted to play?
Man, I'd always felt good about Kentucky. Like regardless of who else really came out of the woodworks there, like it was just going to be, I mean, it's just kind of always been Kentucky, which being from the state, like everybody bleeds blue here. Like it's a super blue state as far as Kentucky, like sports go. Yeah. So I was always kind of like, even from a young age, I was always like, wow, how cool would it be to go to Kentucky? Yeah. So, and then obviously getting in here and like seeing this, like,
oh my goodness,
it's top in the country. Yeah. Like it's just really hard to beat. And the coaching staff and a couple of the guys I knew from high school, and they're like, oh yeah, this is the place to be. And then you watch the year that they had last year, and you're like,
I want to be a part of something like that.
Yeah, they're just having fun all the time. Yeah,
absolutely. So, and for those of you that don't know, this is our player lounge. So, I mean, we got family right here, and every day we preach about family, and we do what it takes to be a family. Yeah. So, I mean, everybody talks about it, but I feel like we are about it. So, it's pretty cool to have this kind of setup here and like just be, shooting a podcast.
Yeah, dude. And they're so supportive. Like, dude, you'll look on your, like, Lead Your House Instagram story, and, like, our assistant coach is putting you on there.
Yeah, it's like, wow, all right.
It's pretty cool.
I didn't think a lot of the guys, like, when I made this account and decided to do the podcast, I kind of was just like, all right, like, maybe I could do some of the guys. And, like, but you guys, like, want to be on it. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, dude.
So,
it's
sick.
I
appreciate it.
It's super cool. I mean, not a lot of, like, guys our age do that.
No,
so it's pretty cool
I just kind of figured,
part
I
of
was
that.
like, hey, man, like, I'm in my last year. I was like, I just make the most of it. Do something fun.
Yeah,
So,
it's sick, dude.
and it's cool to hear everyone's stories. So
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
No doubt about it.
So you have your amazing year, MVP, All-American. Was there any talks about the draft, and like how did that look for you?
Yeah, so there was some talks, obviously, and at one point I thought I was going to get what I was asking for, and at the end of the day, like, I'm not sure how familiar anybody is with the draft, but like, it's just kind of a changing thing all the time. So the team that said they were going to get me ended up going with another guy, and could have gone for less money, but here we are betting on ourselves again.
There you go. Yeah.
So
That's, I mean, so when that happened, did that light a fire in you, or did that kind of just like, you know, bring you down and you're just kind of like, man.
I wouldn't say it like it lit a fire in me. Obviously, I was like, man, like this is it. Like I didn't take that. Like, so let's go. Like, let's get after it.
Yeah.
Like that was huge this summer. But at the end of the day, like, my parents and I had talked about it. Obviously, it's a big family deal. Talk with your agent about it, and like it just came back to like looking at how blessed I was as far as that goes, to have the opportunity to play professional baseball, or like even a chance, even a glimmer of a hope that I would get that number. And like, even when it came by and like other teams were offering lower, I was like, man, this is still super cool.
Yeah.
Like, I have a chance to do that. But at the other at the other end of the spectrum, like, you get to go to Kentucky, like you get to play in the SEC for your like lifelong dream school.
Yeah.
Like, so I kind of looked at it more like that. Like, it's just kind of a blessing to be here.
Yeah.
But like, obviously not satisfied.
Yeah.
So
I agree with that. I mean, like, the draft is so crazy.
Yeah.
Like, there was guys that are taking, you just like, how, like, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
And I know guys, I mean, now that I've seen your numbers, I know guys that were taken that didn't even have even close to the numbers you had. And then now I'm thinking, like, how does, like, I just don't get it. Like, you know, that's how, like, weird it is. Like, you just don't understand. And you can't get upset about it. You can't, you know, throw a fit about it. You're just like, all right, well, I'm going to go do the same thing at Kentucky. And I'm going to do it. Like, you're still going to do it. Like, that's how you got to think of it. It's like, I'm still going to get it done. So,
No doubt.
being able to, like, understand that you're coming to a place where you can do that again, but it's like you get to enjoy this, like the SEC, you know,
like no knocks on JUCO, and you know this too. Like, probably maybe the most fun year of my life with some really great guys and like all that. But like you said, to be able to come experience this is kind of one of a kind experience.
It is one of a kind, and I mean, I came from a Pac-12 school, and this does not compare at all.
Yeah.
I mean, at all. Like, just being not like. The facilities is one thing, but the coaching staff, the team, even the staff members like Richie, the nutritionist, like everybody is just all connected, and it's just that's what makes this place special.
No doubt.
Because everybody cares. Everybody cares, like everybody, and it's pretty cool to be a part of. And so I'm really happy to be here.
Yeah,
so,
me too.
And so you talked about playing summer ball in California.
Yeah.
And you played with some of the guys on the team. So talk to us about who you played with and how it was in California.
So I played with Coop and Patty, Robinson and Patty Herrera, which these guys already know. They've already been on the Legion. So, and then also Jackson Novy and Ruben Church and Nolan McCarthy for a bit.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, so we probably, I'm not sure how if we didn't violate some sort of NCAA rule about how many kids you can have on a team.
Yeah.
But to be able to play with those guys and kind of get acclimated was really cool before I got to step on campus. So that's how I ended up rooming with 3 out of those 4.
Yeah.
So which is awesome. Those guys are awesome.
Big room.
But yeah, man, big room.
Yeah.
Those guys are a lot of fun, and this summer was a lot of fun to be able to ball out with those guys and kind of see what they're made of.
So you played with the Lincoln Potters. Mm-hmm. So that's in what, NorCal? Mm-hmm. NorCal.
Lincoln, California.
Lincoln. Yeah, that's like near Sacramento, I think.
Yeah, it's like 40 miles from Sacramento, if that.
So, I mean, was that your first time in California?
First time ever in Cali.
So, I mean, that's not really a great spot. That's a knock on NorCal. That is, because SoCal is where it's at.
Yeah.
But so, How was that like going to California for the first time?
Dude, it was awesome. Like, Lincoln A was like a really good spot. Like, being from Kentucky and like never seeing west of like Colorado. I guess I went to Vegas, but like you hear all the horror stories about California or whatever, and Lincoln was like the polar opposite.
Yeah.
Like, it was just awesome. So, shout out to the host family, man. The Silvis, they were amazing. Took really great care of me. Great people. And then the baseball there was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good competition over there, right? It's a CCL.
Yeah. CCL, yeah. It was a solid league for sure.
So that's good There's like, I think the, what is that team called? The, can't think of the name. Wow. The Foresters?
Maybe.
The Foresters?
So they actually divide that league up into like a North League and a South League.
Okay, so they're in the South League
Yeah.
then.
We didn't get to play any of the South League. But there was some good competition up in the North too. A lot of your guys, a lot of like Pac-12, like USC, some USCs, some Cal, some Stanford. So
Do you guys go to Corvallis at all? That's in the CCL.
Is it?
That's in Oregon.
Oh, no, we went to Bedford maybe. Oregon? Medford, Oregon.
Okay. Playing CCL, that was pretty cool experience. But one of my roommates is from the Bay Area, and he always talks about the Bay Area. And I know your first time in California was NorCal, and we always bag on him because he always talks about the Bay Area is so cool, man. Like, it's better than SoCal. But you got to come down to SoCal and definitely check out all the cool cities over there. And like I was saying, like, you look like a beach dude. Like, you look like you get in a car and you go at 6 a.m. and you're going to surf.
Yeah, like a Volkswagen Beetle with the friggin' surfboard on top. But
that's literally the vibe. When I first saw you, I was like, dude, this guy's either from SoCal or I don't know. This guy's
I got the like bleach blonde hair, bro. We had a guy this summer, Luke Lavin, shout out Luke. He's from SoCal, and he was like, dude, you look like you're more SoCal than me.
Yeah.
Like, and then he met me, and he was like, God, you're a redneck. I was like, oh, I'm not, bro. Like,
yeah. It's funny to see all, like, I mean, I've never been part of a team that really has a guy west of, or east of, like, Illinois.
Yeah.
Or Texas. So all these guys that are, like, country.
It's
boy. like Ruben, dude. Oh, Ruben, my God. I've never met anybody like Ruben. Or Diddy.
Bro. Diddy's a good story.
Hudson Brown. He's our freshman first baseman.
Good story. Great story.
We'll talk about him in a second.
Yeah.
But let's talk about Crit.
So,
if those of you that have tuned in and listened to me and Ty Crittenberger's podcast, we talked about Ben Higdon coming up with Crittenberger to the upper 90. So he's going to tell us a little bit about how you came up with that.
Yeah. So just as a before we start this, I'd just like to say that I am indeed faster and have more pop and am definitely taller than Ty Crittenberger. And that's what he gets for making up my shark nickname. So there we are. But anyway, we were at practice one day, and I don't know if you've ever seen us out there from first or wherever you may be on the defensive end, but we always do these drills, and we throw into a net, like it's a little L net, and it's got this crossbar across the top, and every day, without fail, Ty Crittenberger hits this net on the very top crossbar.
Yeah.
And it, like, dings every time, man. So one day, I'm just like Crittenberger sounds like too much of an English soccer player to not, like, soccer reference this right now.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, this is like, everybody's either going to really laugh at this and think this is hilarious, or they're going to be like, Higdon, what are you talking about? Like, shut up, dude. But I went for it, and I was like, Crittenberger to the upper 90, and the trophy's coming back to Tottenham. Because it just sounds too good, dude. It rolls off the tongue.
Oh, everybody loves it. Everybody loves it.
Yeah, so that's where that came from. He hits that thing every single day. Every day.
Every time, I see Crit, I always go, to the upper 90. Just like without fail, I just like look at him. I'm just I gotta say it.
It's like a new outfield monologue every day too. Like somebody's out there like commentating a British soccer game in a different way every single day. It's like, oh, and he's done it in the 37th minute. The trophy's coming back to Tottenham. Yeah, it's so funny.
Oh my God. And he's got, you do a good Hudson Brown.
Oh,
so Hudson Brown, he is from Mississippi State. So he's got a couple nicknames, Sip, Diddy.
Yeah.
So let's do a little Hudson Brown.
This
guy's the best. That's why the only reason I have him do this because he nails it every single time.
Dude, yeah, I've been around a lot of country guys like Hudson, so I had to hit the impression on him. So one day he was just talking to me, and I was like, yeah, boy, I started going back and forth and John with him, and I don't even think he noticed at first. He was just like, it's like another Mississippi dude. Comes there like, hey man, what you been doing hunting today? Like, man, I remember when best days ever when Daddy give me a buck knife and let me just run out in the woods and kill whatever I want. You're like, bro, what? Like finally he caught on to it. And he thinks he takes it really well. Like, he's really good about it. Like some people would get upset, but Hudson's really pretty good about it.
Yeah, he loves it. And he, like, I mean, those of you who don't know, Hudson hunts, like, every single day.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he's a real country boy.
Yeah, he is. He's
like,
not fake.
he sends pictures in the group chat of him, like, hunting.
Yeah,
and it's
dude.
just like, all right.
It'll be in a tree stand, like, 3 hours after our inter squad. You're like, bro, how did you teleport?
Yeah.
Like,
oh,
like,
my
are you
goodness.
hunting in downtown Lexington or something?
It's crazy. We got a lot of personalities on this team.
Yeah.
And it's funny because, like, being from Southern California, this is like a culture shock for me.
Oh, yeah.
And, like, I drove over here, and, like, I went through different states. And, like, as you keep going east, everything just starts, like, changing slowly.
Yeah.
And, like, after, like, 12 hours, you're just, like, in Texas, and you're just like, oh, yeah, I'm not from around here.
Yeah.
And then you keep going, Oklahoma, and then you go through Tennessee, and then Kentucky. But it's cool to have all these personalities on the team, like Ruben, he's from Tennessee, I think, and then Nolan from Michigan, Crit, Devin, Folly from Florida, me and Coop from California, you from the home state. So it's like, it's cool to see all this stuff.
It is pretty cool. I've never really thought about that, but we may have like one of the most diverse like teams in the country.
I think we might.
We're from all over the place.
We are.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, and Patty from Arizona.
Yeah.
Like, we just got everywhere.
Everything's
Illinois,
spread out,
Pittsburgh. What else we got here? Ohio.
Oh, dude.
I think that's where Bo's from.
Yeah,
Minnesota.
Bobby Baseball.
Bobby Baseball. We get a lot of Bobby Baseball on here. Check out his TikToks. I think it's Robert Hogan.
Oh, yeah.
He's a character.
It's something like that. Y'all gotta check him out, though.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about, like, we talked about the family and the culture here. And when you were talking to Minge and Ammo and Kuzi, I don't know if Kuzi was a part of the staff yet, but like, I was talking to everybody else, and they felt like when they were on the phone with the coaches that they felt like they were at home. Is that kind of how you felt as well?
No doubt about it. I mean, Minge kind of really pushed the envelope on the home state thing for me.
Yeah.
Which made me feel like, all right, yeah, like they like push it too. Like they're really bought into that. So that was huge for me. And then like, I mean, getting recruited here, like, did you see that PowerPoint, Minge's PowerPoint? Like, he's got his son on there, like, fishing and stuff, and he's having us over for dinner. Yeah. So it really is, like, it's a family, you know? And you could say that about a lot of places, but this truly is, I think. Yeah,
I mean, this being my fourth different school, everybody talks about family. Everybody talks about Omaha. And the difference here is that we do, honestly, like, what it takes. Like, we're doing step by step what it takes to be a family and to go to Omaha. And like, I truly believe that we can, you know, accomplish both those things. And I feel like the family thing is already there. Like, it's been like, we do a lot of stuff where I'm just like, wow. Like, I never even thought about doing it. Like, quote of the day, like, every single day. And now we're incorporating each guy to come up with their own quote and then, you know, share. I like that a lot because, like,
me too.
Each guy thinks about and, like, you know, applies in. It's like their own thing that they have in their head that they think is like, this is like my thing, you know. So I think it's cool.
Super cool.
And then, like, the meetings, I like this, like, team review on Monday. I'm not gonna lie.
I do too. I've never been like the video review's always been kind of part of it. Yeah. But like I've never sat down and done like a team video review, and I'm a fan. Yeah. I'm a fan.
And he like, if something went wrong, like, he'll let you know. It's not like he just like, it's okay. Like, it's elite standards for elite teams, and we always preach that. Yeah. Like, I mean, even down to bunting. If it's not like perfect where we need it to be, elite standards for elite teams. Yeah. So it's pretty cool to have all that kind of stuff in this on this team. So
Yeah.
So I'm gonna ask, was there a moment last year where in your JUCO games that like stood out? Like this was your Ben Higdon moment where you just like hit a home run that like won a game, or a crazy like moment. And we'll clip it on here if you have a video of it so everybody can see it.
Man, I don't know. It's kind of hard to pinpoint because I mean there was just a lot of good moments last year. It was a great year, but
I mean, you did have 21 home runs, so it's hard to pick one.
yeah, it was a good moment. There was a home run. We were facing a pretty good left-handed pitcher from he goes to Western Kentucky now. I still talk to him, Lucas Literal. Shout out Lucas. Hate to throw you under the bus here, but I hit a homer off of him and kind of watched it go. We were like, this was a team that we had beaten like 3 or 4 times, and they ended up beating us in the game. But it was like the 4th or 5th inning, and I hit a homer to put us up a run, and kind of like pimped it, watched it go, and then turned over to the dugout, and I was like, let's go! Like that was probably the most electric moment. I would say that, or there was another single up the middle when it got to tournament time that was another pretty big swing, and ended up helping us win a game too. So there was a lot of good homers, like good moments like that, obviously. But I would say those 2 stand out the most.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, we got to get the video though so we can clip for
for sure.
So like when you're in that moment, like what does it feel like? Because I know a lot of people like maybe haven't got to experience that moment yet, or maybe have and had a different experience. Like when you hit that homer, like what were you just like? Everything just like blacks out, and you're just like, let's go,
dude.
Like,
yeah, you can attest to this.
Yeah.
So like, I mean, you don't even mean to like show up a pitcher so called, or like yell or like whatever, dude, but like that wave of emotion just comes over you and you're like, I just did this for my boys like, in this moment, and that's electric. Like to be able to hype the boys up like that and put them ahead, and like it's just an unbelievable feeling. So I've been blessed to have that.
That's awesome. So I mean, we talked about all that JUCO stuff. Let's talk a little bit about like NIL. Like, have you gotten involved with any NIL at all?
A little bit, yeah. So that was semi-part of my deal here, but I really haven't a lot yet. So hopefully that can pick up, and we'll see where that goes. But I'm pretty new to it, I guess, like everybody else. But what have your experiences been?
I mean, I just like hit up brands all the time.
I need to start doing that, dude.
It's
Everybody's like just DMing people. And I need to do that.
And I wasn't a big fan of doing all that stuff before. And now, I mean, I have a presence on social media, so I just like, I honestly, like, I'm at the point where I'm like, dude, like, this is like the only time in my life where I can be a college athlete and be able to do this, And it's like, I played for Kentucky baseball, or I played for SC baseball, like, brands are going to see that, and they're, why wouldn't they want that? So one of my boys, I forgot who it was, but they just like, I was just asking them, like, what do you do? Because they got so many NIL deals, like every day, just like new things. I'm like, dude, I want that. Like, it's sick. And so they're like, dude, you just got to reach out and like, type up something, how you're going to represent them, what are you going to do, and like, what do you expect in return? And so like, I'm the kind of guy that like, I drink coffee all the time. Or I like drinking electrolytes. So I find brands that like I can reach out and get free product from, and like help them promote their stuff. Because like I don't want to spend money at Starbucks or Dunkin' every single day.
Like it's a super cool day and age that we as college athletes live in.
This
is all brand new.
Like
there's not a whole lot of, I mean, I guess there's a lot of rules and regulations on it, but like there's a little bit of leeway just because it's so new. So I probably need to take advantage of that. Like it would be cool to get like a T-shirt or like some sort of apparel, like a coffee, dude, or like a electrolyte, something like that would be really cool. So I probably need to start doing that.
So shout out Strong Coffee. That's the coffee I have in here. You see me with it every day.
Oh yeah, dude. Guys always drink it.
I got some of the guys to get it. I know Schramm and Lafferty just got some. They said they loved it.
I'm gonna have to try it.
So you're gonna have to try it. You guys can use my code LEISURE, 50% off.
Let's go.
But yeah, and I drink Saps, so that's the electrolyte
That's what
drink.
I always see with that too.
Yeah, it's really good. And those are things that just like a daily that I can like have and like I'm investing in my body. It's like I like to look at it.
Yeah.
So like if I'm like gonna eat McDonald's, like I'm not really investing in my body. I'm just like kind of just like eating to eat.
Yeah.
So I like to put stuff in my body that I know that's gonna help me be healthy and like help me perform on the field. So that's kind of how I look at it. So I mean, if you reach out to brands.
Yeah, dude, to be able to have that at your like fingertips and be able to help those guys out too.
Yeah.
I'm sure they're super grateful for that. But
Yeah.
I mean, especially you, like, dude. You can just get electrolytes and caffeine whenever you need it. Like,
Yeah.
that's pretty massive.
Yeah, I mean, as a college athlete, those
Oh, yeah.
are pretty important things. So
yeah.
I'm like, yeah, why not?
Oh, yeah,
So
bro.
it's pretty cool.
No doubt about
So,
that.
I mean, last thing, what would you say to a 15-year-old Ben Higdon? Like, what advice would you give him about his baseball journey?
Man, that's a really good question. I would say just control the things you can. Like early in my career, I had a really good high school coach, a really tough one. But I always worried, like, oh, man, what do I look like in his eyes? Like, what am I doing right? What am I doing wrong? Like, as far as that, like, through my career, I've kind of figured out, like, baseball is one of those games where there's a lot of stuff that just, like, you just can't control it. Like, you got umpire back there, man. Like, he's going to mess up. You got 9 other guys against you.
Yeah.
You got 8 other guys on your team. So, like, at the end of the day, be the best teammate that you can and keep your nose to the grindstone, bet on yourself, and just control the things you can.
Yeah.
No doubt about it.
Yeah. I think you've done a great job of doing all those things.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it.
I appreciate you coming on the podcast,
Dude, yeah,
Big Dog.
thanks for having me.
It's been
It's
awesome.
so fun, yeah.
Thanks for tuning in, guys. We're gonna, keep doing this. I hope you guys enjoy it. So stay tuned for the next Wildcat.
Yeah.
See you next time.
Thanks for having me, brother.
Of course. Hell yeah.
Dude, that was fun.
That was lit.
I like that.
You let me go just to watch me discern. Just because it feels the same till the morning call.